In this video, I'm rolling with Vedeem. Vedeem is a new student at the academy. He said this was his second class, but this isn't a class. This is open mat. Since he's new, he probably didn't differentiate between the two. So I pulled him into my little office over here, and I'm going to give him one of his first rounds rolling. He said the reason why he joined jiu-jitsu was because he wants to use his muscle for something, which I found really funny. So he goes to the gym a lot, and he says he just feels like it's boring, and he wanted to use his muscle for something. So I said, that's very interesting that led you here, but you might have to keep the gym in your life if you want to keep those muscles. For those of you who watch the channel should understand that humor. So when rolling with a new person, a new practitioner, I go super easy. So there I just kicked him over with a butterfly sweep, but I didn't get up on top, and I did it very effortlessly. Now what's interesting about this roll is you could see how easy jiu-jitsu works against somebody that doesn't know what you're trying to do. It's even like if I have a guy at the school that's a good purple belt and then he gets to know my game, it becomes so much harder. It's not because I might not get him, things might go very differently if he didn't know what I was going to do. But once he knows what I like to do, he can shut it down and win more on athleticism, which is fine. It's just another way of developing. But it's interesting. So here I'm just going through the positions very slowly. I have him in like an arm triangle there. I think I submitted him with that arm triangle. He said he weighs 175 pounds, so he's my weight, my size, but he'd probably be a few divisions younger in the age category. He's probably pushing 30, maybe. It's hard for me to tell. He might have told me and I forgot. So here I'm just preventing him from doing anything. So I'm laying here. I have my knee preventing him from mounting, which he wouldn't know to do that anyway. But it's better to just have your body where it needs to be ahead of time. It makes life a lot easier. So there I was able to do a tripod sweep very gently. I didn't want to send him flying or do it in an explosive manner as soon as I saw that move was available to me. So here I'm just hooking under his leg and under his head, and I'm going to spin him to the mat. That's a principle in jiu-jitsu. If you can take away the base and spin, because when you do that, you spin them right into your knee on belly, which is what I did there. So I'm kind of explaining that to him. And I'm letting him reset. When I do knee on belly, I do more of shin on waist, I call it. Because some people put their knee on the sternum or ride the knee higher up, but it makes it very easy to shuck. So there I'm letting him know one of my main goals is to pass his legs and get my knee to his waist. So I'm telling him what I'm trying to do. When I first started, I didn't even roll with a brown belt. There wasn't any brown belts. My teacher was a purple belt. But if I did, they would kill me. It would be a submission marathon. So here he did exactly what I've been talking about these last few videos. He sat up into the choke. He just sat up and gave me the choke. And to help sit up from there, sometimes one puts their hands on the mat as a base. So as soon as they put their hand on the mat, my arm is going around their neck. So here I think I'm explaining to him that our bodies just interlock in a certain way. It's not about muscle, it's about interlocking in a way that's favorable to you. So here I grab his ankle from the far side, like an experimental grip almost. And now I have his leg hooked, and I'm slowly passing, very incremental. I'm giving him all the time in the world to try to figure out what I'm doing. And at the same time, sharpening my technique. See, I very slowly grabbed his head. And believe me, he's trying to get out, but in inefficient ways. So there, if he was somebody else, I might have done a choke on him. So there he did like a big hip bump, which is good. And maybe it might have thrown me to the side or put me in a less advantageous position. So when I feel that big hip bump, I just come off and go to side control. Because either way, I'm pinning. So again, I don't have any pressure on him. I have no weight on him. I'm using the controlling techniques that I've been showing in the last couple of videos. I have the gift wrap armbar position there. See, I'm fishing my hand through. Waiting for him to sit up. Boom, he put his left hand down to push himself up, to sit up. This is a natural reaction. And look how easy it gives me the choke. And not only does he do that, but seasoned practitioners do it. We can't always do what feels natural. I think when it comes to grappling, what feels natural usually doesn't work. So there he just walked right into the triangle. Again, we're laughing about it. I'm trying to show him a little bit like how beautiful the art is. That I don't have to hurt him to choke him out, let's say, or break his shoulder, break his arm. I don't have to hurt him. I don't have to finish the movement. I just have to apply it at the right time, under the right circumstances. So we're resetting. He's trying to pull my foot in. And look how easy I go to his back there, with just no effort at all. And now I have his hand on the right side. I have his wrist pulled to his chest, and then I wrap my hand around his neck. If I really wanted to finish him, I would throw my leg over his arm and drop to one side, usually the left side. I'm starting to do that now. So I had the arm under the throat from the left side, and now I switched it to the right side. Again, not squeezing hard. And I know you're not supposed to cross your feet, but he doesn't know that leg lock from a hole in the wall. And even if he did, when I do cross my feet, it's up higher on the body and the leg lock's not really there. You have to cross your feet in someone's groin, basically. So here I'm explaining to him that he needs to fight 2-on-1, and then I realized that I had his arm trapped. So I was like, no, you got to use both arms. And then he said his arm was trapped, so I let it out. Here he tries to get up, and I just pull back on both shoulders and invent a submission. I don't know. Has anyone seen that one before? I might have seen it somewhere and forgot. I'm not really a pro with the professional wrestling, but isn't that like the camel clutch or something? But again, I didn't do it in a way that would have hurt my partner. See how I hooked his foot there and took his back? Now, most people aren't going to let you do that. Any trained person, I'd never be able to do that. So it's interesting to get these natural reactions. So here, instead of finishing it with the arm bar, I isolated his elbow and then just did a very gentle wrist lock. He's laughing. Again, I wanted to show him. I told him, I said, anybody in jiu-jitsu is going to make fun of me for wrist locking a new white belt. But I did it in a lighthearted way, and I just wanted to show him it was there. So here I'm letting him start inside control and escaping very easily. Already have the triangle. I'm not using my arms. Now, to his credit, he's not going crazy. So here I'm telling him how to get out of this triangle. Instead of just finishing it, I'm telling him, stand up, bring your body around this way. And it was hard for him to understand. You know, it's like we've been doing this for so long that when we explain something, we just think that people are going to know what we're talking about. We're deep in it. But I think the key to trying to explain concepts is understanding how to simplify things and see it from the perspective of a beginner. So here I'm just fending him off. I have my right leg up, which I don't even need because he would never go for a mount. Well, he gave me his leg there. So here I have him in a position where if I want, I could pick up his leg with my hook. See, I'm starting to do that. Now I have both legs in, and now I turned into a leg entanglement. Now I could easily finish the ankle lock right here. That's the position. But I don't. I tell him, you got to peel off my legs. You can't just get complacent there. If I have your leg entangled between my legs, you got to get out of there. So here he's trying to pass. This is something new I've been working on. Again, I can't try this on some awesome black belt. I got to try it on people that don't know anything in the beginning, just so I could start seeing that down that offensive path. Work your defense with the people that are better than you and your offense when you're better than somebody. So again, I'm showing him when his foot's in trouble like that, he has to, there he can actually put his foot on my thigh to free it, but he has to get it freed. So here I'm letting him start in mount. I remember, see how quick I got out of that? I remember when I was young, before I knew jiu-jitsu and just street fighting, I thought my biggest fear was getting mounted. Like if someone was to get on top of you, I just felt like there was no way to get out. What do? You just get punched. And I actually saw a couple of fights like that, and I was thinking to myself, wow, whoever gets mount wins, but what are the pathways there and what are the escapes? So I was already thinking about that before I was back when I was a Taekwondo child. So here I'm doing my normal back take. And what's funny is I just hit that on a high level competitor. The same move, the same finish. Everything that I'm doing on him, I do on others, right? So that's the key. You have to start with someone new, learn the techniques, build the techniques, and then refine them on high-level people. So here I'm showing him that anything he gets, like so if I step in like that, I'm giving him something to grab onto, or I'm going to lean in. But I have to do something to connect to him. I have to get to him. So I have to give him something while I'm trying to get something. There I'm showing him the importance of not letting me pick up his feet. So if he's going to play guard like that, I can't just grab his feet and throw him on his back when he's not connected. Falling back and playing guard is good when you have a connection. Most people don't just lay on their backs. They grab a wrist, they grab the neck. So here I'm just letting him work. And look, he just pulls me right by his guard. Again, these are reactions that somebody that doesn't know anything is going to give you in the street fight that everybody's worried about. That might never happen. So there I just finish him with an arm triangle. I jump to the other side. All done very slowly, very incrementally. And in my mind, it felt even slower. So in payment, in my mind, for him letting me work my offense, I feel like I have to give him a little mini private lesson here. I love seeing people go ahead with their jiu-jitsu and use things that I've taught them. I mean, it just blows my mind. It's such invaluable knowledge, and it takes so long to come by. I remember this black belt used to say, yeah, I'm teaching them everything it took me 15 years to figure out. So here he's going to give me the business a little bit, and I just do an ankle pick. Again, these are all the same thing I do to different levels, any level. So again, I'm not like exploding into it, putting my legs exactly where they need to be. I'm kind of just holding on to it, letting them work. I'm not pulling on it. I told him, I said, you got to stand up and put weight in it. And then I re-swept him. I said, now you got to get back up. If I don't get back on top, you have to get back up. So in the beginning, jiu-jitsu will still be athletic for him for probably a couple of years, 2 or 3 years. But eventually he should stop using, he will naturally stop using speed and strength for technique. That is the progression. So here I'm saying he should work on going to the sides, not up the middle. Not yet. Let's just focus on one style of passing. So standing, passing, side to side. This is what I would tell any new jiu-jitsu white belt. You're going to work your passing, side to side. So there's another ankle pick. I love that move. And I just casually step by his guard. This reminds me, I think there's a video of Andre Galvao. He's fighting some fake black belt in a jiu-jitsu tournament, and he's just doing something. He's just riding him back and forth, and this is my moment, my similar moment there. But what I'm showing him is to not let me just step around his guard. He has to turn with me. He has to stay facing me. Once I flank him, it makes it easy for me to put my foot next to him. So here, this became almost a drill. Because as you can see, I'm not really trying to finish it. So this is a takedown that I'm explaining to him. It's a wrestle up that I've shown on the channel before. It starts with that leg positioning and then grabbing someone's legs and keeping their knees together while toppling them over with my head. It's kind of several things that happen at once. So there, he resisted more. I said, normally somebody's not going to just let you grab their knees and squeeze them together. They're going to base out in a stance. I said, that leads to other things, but for now, I just want to see him hit this. So as you can see, you go and you step up. That looked pretty smooth. I'm not someone that does a lot of drilling. I just do it in the moment. I think they both lead to the same place eventually anyway. You get smooth either way. So here I'm showing him he's got to get my knees together and push with his head, which he did pretty well there. So this is another longer style video. More to come from Vedeem. Leave a comment if you want to see more longer style videos, or are they too boring? Again, there's a hook escape I do, not just on Vedeem. I've done it in many videos. So if you find value in my content and you want to help support the channel, I have a Buy Me a Coffee link or X Marshall link in the description. Anything you buy from their page is 15% off using code Jits over 50, and they have really nice rash guard shorts, all kinds of stuff. So thank you for watching. Please like, share, and if you haven't already, subscribe. Thank you.